So this is the Sunday Wind Turbine Marathon Part 2, and although I'd love to leave it up there spinning silently as it is, as you can hear, nothing, no little clankies or anything else, which is nice. So, but it has come down. It's catching the wind quite nicely there. It has to come down so that I can continue with the work on the tower, etc. Just not going to loosen off the side cables, so both sides are loose as to avoid extra stresses on the tower and the cables. So now you can hear it's getting hard to work due to the stresses that are on the winch now. Sweet! Actually, it's coming off anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now we can get a nice, good look at what's happened to the wheel, look. The thing is, I thought that it might actually have come loose, but it hasn't come loose at all. I don't know if you can see that. Just going to move the camera a second. You can see where the weld, some of the welding split away by the looks of it. So that will have to be obviously dealt with. Anyway, now we've got to get the top bit of the tower off so we can do the work required there. Especially near the top end, putting some eyes on for the guide ropes. Right, the plan is, we've only got about the length of that screwdriver to get the bolts in at the bottom. So I'm going to attempt one here, and then one here and one here. Start off with a nice small hole, straight onto the 10mm beast. Tell you what, that Milwaukee Shockwave drill bit is a beast. Absolute beast. You see, I'm constantly using this stuff. Okay, even just to save your drill bits. Amazing stuff. Just use it all the time. Some on the drill bit, some in the hole. And we should be good to drill straight through the other side, which will save a lot of hassle. Some more in there. Whoa, straight through, look. Oh, got loads of mud on it now. That's a bit of a bummer. Right, that was a lot easier than I imagined. They're only M10, so I should really drill them out to M12. But let's repeat that process here. So you can see what I've done. I actually felt I had to create a bit more room. The nuts are going to be bolted in, so it doesn't really matter if the nuts sit on top, because I know it's random, but there's more room on that side than there is the other side. These are now 14mm to allow a bit of extra clearance, so sorry, it's to not be messing around too much with the bolts. So I've got to let this cool down, clean it up, weld the nuts on, job done. So wicked, we're all set. I've cleared out any debris from around. I've enlarged the holes. Enlarged, is that even a real word? The one little problem one might be that. You can see I've ground out a bit for that. That should be okay. With the last one, I could fit the bolts by putting in and fit a bolt on the inside, which is desirable. What I'm going to have to do with the top one here is put a bolt all the way through. And I don't really like doing that, because sometimes it seems like something can happen and then they're both grabbing the bolt too much and and it won't come out. So what I'm going to do, when I do this side, I'm just going to have the bolt in just enough to grab it, weld this side, weld the other side, and then take it out. I don't want to have to be removing inches of bolt from one side, so that's good. Right, that looks about right. So let us get on with the welding. So yes, just a quick close-up of the unground welds there. So I'll clean it up, we'll see what we've got. So now we'll give it a good clean up. Now this is the bit where you reap your rewards for all that hard work, is when the spray paint goes on. There you go, let that dry and do the other side. Tell you what, it's a shame we have to paint this. It looks absolutely beautiful metal, but we're going to have to paint it. And now this beauty, sorry, I know you're very nice, but sorry. This is looking pretty bang on. A bit more drying required, and then I'll flip it over and do the other side. More thinners. Last rain dust. Now where is the paint? Oh. Now, you can go super close with the spray paint, that's what I like doing, but you've got to be very swift with the movement, otherwise you end up with too much on it. There you go, let that dry. So now our attention turns to the very top of the tower, and what I need to do, I do have a couple of options. I've got this thick pipe, which is gives about 5mm internal play. I was thinking of making a bracket out of that, and I may do that next time, but just for the purpose of using the electric bike wind turbine, I'm going to put 4 eyes at the top, or 4 tabs, whatever they're called. I need to get terminologied up, but that's the next job. So I'm going to get one strip of metal, the right size, drill 4 holes in it, then cut it into 4 and then weld it on. Right, this is the top joiner pipe that I made yesterday, and before I can do the top of the tower, I just need to clean up these bits and paint them. There you go. That was a bit of a mission, but it's a job well done. I've decided to use this rusty metal, which was out of a clamp. I don't know if you can see that shape. I cut the clamp down and welded it on to make it shorter because I found this bit really annoying, but that's what we're going to use for the tabs. Right, another change of plan. I'm sorry, I'm going to make a clamp that I can bolt on here. So I've got that piece of pipe in the vise, and I'm going to cut it along here, and we're going to use this bit. So we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to cut a line down the middle, and then I'm going to remove 1 inch so it has room to tighten. That's the plan. Wish me luck. I didn't even measure how straight that line was, but it looks okay. Now I'm just going to do the same again. So I'm going to cut enough of this bar to fit inside. So I just cut the first 3 holes in the bench drill, which went very well. That's why I got it not perfectly level, but they don't have to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them up which one's which, so then we know exactly which ones have got to go on the tower and whether they're top or bottom. Sweet! That's looking fairly cushy from where I'm standing. after a lot of work with the step drill. So the whole point of doing that was that we can take an M12 bolt and we've got a bit of room for manoeuvre. Yeah, that was the idea. And the point of welding them together was so the holes are in exactly the same place. And what I need to do is stamp on them exactly where they're going, then I separate them, weld them on to the tube. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but we'll sure give it a go. We've got options, always got options. In a bizzle. So this is how this is going to go. Right, I'm just going to try and get a tack on either end. I haven't ground down the end of the rod, so I don't know how it'll be. As usual, won't win any beauty competitions, but won't be going off for the next 5,000 years either. Peace. So I've got it set up for the second weld. Right, this is the test. Have I just wasted hours and hours of my time? Sorry, give me a second, I'm just adjusting the device. Will it go over? Yes. Yes, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten these up a little bit. So now if I do up these, well, they're getting mega tight. So yeah, the eye for the back will be here, and it needs an eye there, one there, and one there. But that's pretty awesome as far as I'm concerned. Pretty awesome. Sweet. What do you think of a 6-bladed hub then? I probably won't do it, I just thought it looked cool. And this is how it looks from the other angle. Sweet.